And now the fun begins as we work with fractional expressions in lesson 5-9. And this is our last section before our test that will be coming up very shortly. Our essential question is, can you solve and use fractional equations? Well, you guys are very good with factoring. I'm so impressed with your factoring. So hopefully you can see here that we have a 3 minus z, a z squared minus 9, and a z plus 3. And you know what I'm going to tell you? What we've been saying all along, factor first. Factor first, because we want to make sure that we can go ahead and eliminate some of these and find a common denominator the easiest way possible. So I know that this is z plus 3, z minus 3. And here we have another z plus 3. And because this is not z minus 3, I'm going to factor out that negative 1, and I'm going to distribute it through here. So notice now I have another z minus 3. The reason I did that is because I have a matching z minus 3 and a matching z plus 3. So I know my common denominator is z plus 3 times z minus 3. And yes, I'm taking the time to write all of this out. And I realize that it is very long. And I'm probably going to run out of room. So let's reduce what we can reduce here. Notice I can reduce z minus 3 and z minus 3. And all of this reduces, yay! And this can reduce. But we still have to FOIL. So, you know what, maybe I will take this negative out. No, I'll leave it. Negative z times z is negative z to the second. Outer terms, I have a negative 3z. Inner terms, I have another negative 3z. Last terms, I have negative 9 plus 11z plus 3. FOIL again. 1 times z is z. Outer, negative 3. Inner, negative 5z squared. And last terms looks like it's positive 15z. Well, wow, this looks like a mess. So I'm gonna just focus right here, and I'm gonna have to find some more paper. So let's go ahead and add like terms. Don't know where I'm going yet. As you can see, I'm trying to figure that out. We're just gonna ignore the problem, and I'm just gonna work into that space. There we go. All right, so I have negative z squared, and I think that's the only z squared I have over here. I have negative 3, and 11. Well, 11z minus 6z is 5z, and 3 and negative 9 is negative 6. I have 1 negative 5z squared. It looks like I have a z and a 15z, which is 16z, and a negative 3. So now we're just solving. Yep, we're solving a quadratic. So let's bring that everything over to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to bring this guy over by adding it. So I have 4z squared, because negative z squared plus 5z squared is 4z squared. I'm going to subtract the 16z over. If you need to see it, write it out. So that's negative 11z. And I'm going to add the 3, and that's equal to 0. So, first times last. First times last is 12. The factors of 12, that add up to be negative 11. That's actually a negative 12, or negative 12 and positive 1. And I think I'm going to use 4 terms here. A lot of you guys like the 4-term method, so I'm going to do 4z squared minus 12z plus 1z minus 3 is equal to 0. Anytime I have 4 terms, I'm going to cut it in half. The first term I could take out a 4z, and I have z minus 3. I can take out a 1, and I have z minus 3. And when I combine these, the grouping or combination method, it looks like I have 4z plus 1 times z minus 3 is equal to 0. So we're going to set each of these equal to 0. And I'm going to solve the right one first because that's super easy to solve. Z is equal to 3. The left one, I'm going to subtract 1, divide by 4. Z is equal to negative 1/4 and positive 3. Whew. So let's look. That's a lot of work for one little problem. All right, great job. I might make another video with the other questions, but great job.